one thing that Europe has over NA, I think, is the mid laners. So, yeah, sucks for you guys.
They don't have a lot of teams like that. Oh my God!
Perks is just making 100 Thieves look stupid right now.
I do know a little bit about Levi's. I have some nightmares after playing his Nocturne at Worlds. Like, I'm not even sure what to expect from them, and you don't know what's coming, so you just have to be well prepared.
And Levi's gonna try his damnedest, and now he's got a few minions in front. Tries to clear him as he goes. Quick draw forward.
Levi's staying alive.
The EU bottom lanes that play Heimer are just like really strong at the champion.
Approaching right now. That's a triple bounce to the Heimerdinger. Can they just delete him immediately? Yes, they can. All tag just eliminated. He's gonna get a second one instantly deleted. That was a lot of rockets. Shut down there. So when he's had some good moments, that might not have been one of them.
I really want to like play good because I still need to prove I'm gonna cross every EU top laner.
When Huni was in Europe, he was like regarded as by far the best top laner, so it would be nice to like play against him and see what all the fuss is about.
Welcome back to Rift Rivals 2018, where we're 6 minutes away from Champion Select Game 1. So we got to race through some stuff that we had planned here for the top of the show. At Rift Rivals, we have the first exposure to patch 8.13, and with it, the newest rework to hit the Rift. Of course, we're talking about Aatrox. What are our thoughts?
Wonder made it look really good. They had a good matchup for it and a good draft, and he made sure to play it very well. Snowballed through a lot of these dives that Aatrox is especially good at. He has some sick animations, and then once you're ahead on Aatrox, due to his like pretty low mobility in a team fight, if you're ahead, you're willing to tank more damage. You can kind of just charge through them in the thick of this fight, moving forward. Even on low HP, it's gonna be fine. So really good game out of him.
It's great to see that these reworks ended up being not as useless as initially expected.
Yeah, very much so. Of course, there were a couple other big changes to hit on this patch. Jat, let's talk about the gold flowing across the Rift.
And this is one you don't necessarily notice, but is fairly impactful. Last patch, there was actually no additional kill gold when you killed someone with a 2-kill lead on you. So that's why 300 gold, that's base kill gold. Now, you get 450 if the person has 3 kills, you get 600 gold, and it scales more and more to actually have larger rewards for people with large kill streaks. So this makes games not snowball as hard and bounce back a little bit more, because in pro play, it's very rare that someone's at 3 kills and gets shut down. Much more common to have 2 kills and get shut down.
Right.
We saw that numerous times yesterday to help prolong games a little bit.
Increasing the reward for taking the risk of going after that Fed player, and then, of course, punishing Fed players more when they are caught out of position. With the patch, NA is introduced to 3 high-pressure picks from EU. So I'm going to hand it over to Vidius to break those ones down. Head over to the telestrator, my friend.
Thank you very much, Dash. Yes, join with me, my fellow friends, as we run through some picks that are worth watching at this tournament, because EU have brought some pretty interesting champions that NA wasn't quite expecting, which are Heimerdinger, Pyke, and Talon. Starting off with Heimer down, often in the bottom lane. European teams love him because of his ability to constantly push in the lane. He becomes extremely obnoxious as well when you try to gank him too. His turrets give him a lot of wave clear, along with a lot of defensive capabilities that help keep him alive, and basically just make him very difficult to kill. Overall, a very obnoxious champion that Europe absolutely loves to run, and here are just a couple of examples of how difficult he can be to deal with. Up next is Pyke. In Europe, we absolutely love this support. He is the most contested support in Europe at this moment in time. We love him for 2 main reasons, largely because of his flexibility. You can either use him as a kill lane down the bot, you pair him up with a pretty strong kind of bot laner like Swain or even Vlad, and you can have all kinds of kill pressure looking for fights and looking to get yourself kills. Alternatively, you pair him up with a pretty safe wave clear bot laner, and you can have him roaming around the map looking for kills. Europe loves to roam, and you're going to see it a lot more throughout the rest of this tournament. Talon is our final pick, and even though we haven't seen him played yet at this tournament, he was banned against Fnatic yesterday, and he made his debut over in the other Rift Rivals going on the other side of the world. His roaming ability and his sheer amount of damage is something that really needs to be feared for, and in particular against those funnel compositions when he's running things like Smite to get in the enemy jungle and be overall obnoxious. So, gentlemen, those are my 3 picks. NA doesn't really have any of this creativity, so is there anything you want to say about some of the cool stuff that we brought over?
We have a top NA mid laner called Power of Evil, who actually played Talon. Yeah, so NA's got that.
And he has some pretty crazy picks. With the battle lines already drawn, we decided to simplify predictions by slotting the analysts into their given regions to duke it out NA versus EU style. So here they are.
Yeah.
The first time Jat and Mark have ever worked together on something.
Will you have Echo Fox over a G2?
Wait a minute, that is definitely, wait, that is
What are you doing?
EU lads went full EU. EU lads went
All right, so you have G2 in the second one, so that's just a mistake on the screen. So you just went full EU.
Improper text, but correct logo.
Yeah, look, because the matchup, the logo is the pick.
Oh, and then the logo is we got confused by our own graphic. Okay, so there they are. The picks laid out.
So actually, I am a traitor.
Wait, you flipped on me, dude.
Welcome.
Yes, Vedius and I can realize. So there's been enough. I've been skeptical of NA for a while.
Gotta zoom in on this.
And I'm hoping that they lose a little bit here. Because right now, I do think that EU has an edge. And I am so concerned about NA. Instead of just being worried about it, I'm just going to embrace it. And if NA goes 0-5 today, well, at least I called it. Because they're not good right now. They're not playing funnel well. They're not playing Mage's bot right well.
You had a traitor in your midst all along.
This is a lose-lose for you, Jack. Because either you're right and EU wins and you feel bad and you're still in North America, or you're wrong, NA does well and no one likes you because you picked Europe. This is a lose-lose for you.
I'm just going with what's probably going to be right.
Don't worry, you're going to be right there.
Oh, my God.
There's a lot of EU fans that watch this show, Mark. You have to realize this.
Yeah, I believe it.
Normally at a loss for words.
You got to
and I'm
pander to
actually
them?
at a loss for words.
I'm not pandering.
I'm honestly disgusted. All right,
You
well,
picked 3 EU teams, Mark.
I'll just throw mine up
we
there,
have, to
too.
go to, we have to go to game. We're going to deal with this behind the scenes, but send it out to the casters for game 1. Guys, what the heck?
Okay, thanks, Dash, and no thanks, Jat. I want to point out, though, real quick, Jat has a sub 50% prediction rate in the NALCS. He is so bad at predicting the winners when they involve North American teams, he probably got it wrong here, too.
But that's when he's predicting NA teams to win. He's predicting EU teams to win.
He's predicting NA teams to lose, which he's wrong about.
To win. I think he's going to be spot on.
Much like today, NA will win every time.
Well, remind me how you thought Splyce was going to do in this tournament, Martin.
I mean, I called it from the start. They would lose a lot of games.
Okay, well, so they're going to win today?
How are we already talking about Splyce?
Okay. Team Liquid Fnatic.
That's
Team
the
Liquid Fnatic.
bully. They're going to anchor this one. All right, Team Liquid and Fnatic on the screen right now. The respective split winners. These teams met at MSI. Fnatic won that matchup 2-1, including a tiebreaker. Reckless benched himself, though, and now it's Liquid taking on a bit of chance at revenge right here. And we'll see what happens as the Aatrox is banned away. So slash Bwipo to play that one.
I like the Sejuani ban. We had yesterday from Xmithie. He was really good on it. Respecting the fact that he is so good on tank junglers is smart.
Yeah, definitely the case. But Xmithie is also a guy who is pretty versatile, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him leaning towards something like a Kindred even. We haven't seen him bring it out since the buffs just yet, but he has really been a fan of the champion in the past, and it is very strong. Nocturne, another strong one, and you can see the respect ban on that Caps. Yasuo was really good on it at MSI.
Yeah, across 8.12 in the top 5 regions, Nocturne had a 99% presence rate. There was like exactly one game it wasn't drafted in some form. This is the micro patch where his base AD is down, the ultimate attack damage ratio is down a little bit, but still obviously a very highly sought after jungler. And Xmithie gets that one first as Taliyah is going to flex jungle mid here for Fnatic.
Exactly. So Zoe is still open as well, could be grabbed by Pobelter if it doesn't get taken by Fnatic. But if they do, of course, they kind of show already their mid lane choice. Oh, Alistar.
I always think, too, when you are facing against a Nocturne, you have to be very careful about what the top lane matchup is. If Impact is able to get a bully top laner or something, like even like a Renekton, it can be very, very difficult to actually survive the dives against that sort of play style. And Lulu here would be,
Zoe is the one normally. I mean, we had this situation where you get like Nocturne, Zoe, Aatrox. We saw yesterday. Now, of course, Team Liquid already banned Aatrox on the side, but still, 2 very, very strong picks. I wonder if Caps will grab Irelia for himself in the mid lane, if he just will take the Taliyah.
Irelia certainly is a possibility, but we also have to remember that was one of the only champions that actually had significant nerfs on this patch. Was nerfed kind of across the board, took some hits, on most of her abilities, but definitely is a very powerful counter matchup.
Could also go Talon.
Yeah.
It is open right here. Zoe is squishy. She can't get away from him.
Yeah, if you want to move the Taliyah around right now. Of course, Fnatic are still opened up to do a potential funnel. We've seen a Taliyah funnel actually very recently over in the Pan-Asian Rift Rivals.
And man, it sucked.
It didn't do very well, but it did exist.
He was equal on par with the other mid-laner.
I'm saying it's great. I'm saying the option is there because we've seen it. Either way, a very standard comp for Team Liquid. If you've been not watching a lot of NALCS, they've played exactly one non-standard comp. That was a Vladimir bot lane. Every other time, they have never run funnel. They've run marksman now in basically 6 straight games here. So a Shen. Nocturne, not a big surprise right there. Good backline access, a good protection for Doublelift, who's been playing mostly marksman.
So I do really like, the blind pick Mundo here, especially as the third pick in the first round for Fnatic, because you can now kind of ban out some of those counters to it. I talked about how you have to be very careful about those top lane matchups, especially when Nocturne can be thrown in there as well. So you could ban out the Darius, you could ban out something like the Renekton also, who can bully Mundo early on and really leave Mundo in a relatively safe 1v1 and hope he's not going to be preyed on them by the Nocturne.
Heimerdinger is gone. That makes me sad. sOAZ looked so good on it yesterday, but I understand from the NA teams, like, you don't want to deal with it.
Yep.
Because against good Heimerdingers, it feels like there's so little you can actually do to shut them down in lane.
Yeah, it's incredibly frustrating, and there are like a lot of little intricate things about the kit that do make a big difference between the kind of average person just picking it up and the people who really have put in the games and mastered the champion. Lucian taken away from Doublelift.
And this is interesting, of course. Fnatic leaving up Kai'Sa, unless I'm missing it in the ban phase somewhere. This is a great pick for Doublelift. And if Fnatic, they have a comp that can run Super Kai'Sa with Taliyah in the bot lane as your standard mage right there. And we've seen them funnel cast before. Them leaving it up makes me think they're going for that strategy.
Yeah, Kai'Sa certainly is a possibility. You do always have to worry if you are TL picking Kai'Sa here, that you become extremely magic damage focused. Yes, Nocturne is a physical damage threat, but Nocturne is not the one who's going to kill a Mundo. And anytime Mundo is against heavy magic damage, you can become incredibly tough to take down.
Yeah, I think if you are a Fnatic, though, you're okay giving it over to Doublelift. One, you had already highlighted your reason there with AP, but also just the fact that Kai'Sa is a slower champion, and if you are running these really heavy bruiser comps, like, you typically have enough engaged to just force fights in the mid game when these AD carries are not going to do a lot against you, like the Vladimir coming in here. Not a big surprise with all the AP champs already being banned.
I was going to say, I wouldn't mind something like a Caitlyn with the buffs that it has in the micro patch and some of the crit marksman buffs as well, but we are going to get Kai'Sa, and I do have now concerns for Team Liquid and their damage profile. We'll see if it's going to be Shen support and they draft a physical damage heavy top laner. If you draft something like a GP or a Renekton, I think that covers a lot of those weaknesses, so it makes quite a lot of sense. And Impact is very comfortable on the champion. You can even go for Klepto and kind of farm off the Mundo.
Yeah, it's a really well-rounded comp on their side here. You have Engage coming from a Nocturne that can start the fight.
Shen
GP ult, Shen ult follow. You have great poke from the Zoe specifically and the barrel. So it's a good, well-rounded composition. You can maybe argue it's not very tanky. So a lot of the bruisers can, take them down pretty quickly. But it's going to be some big, big team fights.
I actually want to see Mundo get flex jungle and have a hard counter pick to Gangplank. That'd be really exciting if that came through right here. But waiting to see what Fnatic actually wants to pick last for themselves. Two mages and Mundo's ostensibly top lane.
Oh!
And it's actually Kassadin coming through, so Champion's moving around a little bit.
Yeah, Kassadin as kind of the counter here. Yeah,
so many times, like now as well, where you can actually use the W to stack up tier because it costs 1 mana. So people can get fully stacked tier super, super quick in the game. Like, there's a lot of ways where Kassadin can actually get faster to the late game compared to in the past. And obviously against Zoe, we talked about Talon being a potential option. Like, Kassadin can do the same. You jump onto her, and we know her ulti is kind of useless for escaping. It's really hard if you fall behind as a Zoe versus these assassins.
I also do really like it as a dive buddy here with the Vladimir and the Alistar flying into the backline. Alistar can actually amp that damage coming in from the Kassadin. If you are trying to burst down someone like the Zoe, like the Gangplank, like the Kai'Sa, they can be very vulnerable to that. That being said, I always look at compositions like this and do have some concerns for what does it look like if you start to fall behind? What does it look like if you are getting sieged on with Vladimir and Kassadin? They have some wave clear from the Taliyah, but a jungle Taliyah will not be enough. So I do think so much comes down to the early game here.
Going to be an exciting one to watch for as the coaches shake hands. And I know you guys talked about a little bit ago the chance of going too heavy on magic damage on the Team Liquid side. And even though the Fnatic squad is triple mages, the only hard tank is support Shen. So MR stacking does not seem that likely. Like, maybe you'll get Ma out of a couple of champions here, but these champions can still be burned through despite a single damage type comp for Fnatic.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that they're going to see, a tremendous amount of magic damage stacking, but the efficiency becomes a lot greater. You can see Kai'Sa pick up a later Banshee's Veil. You can see the Ma on someone like Xmithie, like Impact. You can see Merc Treads and early Locket and these sorts of things on Olleh. So they can get pretty effective with their gold, but it will not be, kind of losing factor really there.
Yeah, it's not the infinite health Mundo who just laughs at everything and goes where he pleases. So we are on to Summoner's Rift, ladies and gentlemen. The first game of the day. North America and Europe are tied 2-2 in the group stage. If you win the group stage here by the end of the day, you get basically counter pick of team in the extended best-of-5 that takes place tomorrow. Team Liquid and Fnatic, the split winners, faced off at MSI. Fnatic came ahead in that matchup, and here's the chance at revenge for North America.
And a small point, but worth pointing out, we didn't mention in the draft that TL did choose blue side. They actually were the ones who won the 2v2, so they had the advantage in that pick. And with that, they got the first pick Nocturne. So I always kind of like to look at that and track how effective is this champion going to be. Did that advantage really pay off in anything?
Once he gets level 6, we can start judging it properly. I think another smart thing about the Kassadin, specifically against a jungler like Nocturne, is you're not too scared of his early ganks. And by the time he hits level 6, you already have it on a Kassadin yourself, and can use that to escape potentially that first gank.
I'd also really like to highlight this rune and item setup here for Caps. He went Fleet Footwork Resolve, so about as defensive as you can possibly be, as well as a Doran Shield start. So he's saying, yes, Zoe's early lane will be poking me, will be harassing me completely, but with this setup, you have the best possible chance of actually sustaining through that, surviving in the early stages, and getting to level 6 where you can start to really fight back, can start to really take over. So it's some sacrifice in optimal damage later on, but you don't really need that as Kassadin. If you get to late game, it doesn't matter. You're going to be a big threat.
Well, this is very interesting, actually. We've had some kind of desync starts right there. One thing I want to point out is Fnatic actually delayed their entrance to the bottom lane, maybe hoping they can lie about whether they leashed in the lane or not. But of course, Mundo did leash the red buff on the top side of the map and comes to lane late as well. The bot lane trade comes through and really equal trade of resource. But now Broxah already here to gank Pobelter at level 1.
I think he's pretty close, though.
It's going to be the bubble, and it's not going to be too much hard crowd control. And here comes Nocturne around the backside. Broxah's days are numbered. First blood at 2 minutes and 10. And look at Bwipo now. He's so low on health. Olleh, the flash forward, Doublelift, 2 for 0 in as many minutes. Liquid off to a huge lead.
What a start from Team Liquid here. Pobelter baiting it in the mid lane, landing the sleep onto Broxah, and that's an easy first blood. And then they win the trade bottom lane. Vladimir only level 1 at the moment, and just Bwipo, Hylissang, not a great start for them, and Broxah very greedy in the mid lane.
Yeah, definitely the case. Hylissang trying to actually knock Olleh into the turret, just barely doesn't get him in range there, and we have seen this a lot. People not respecting level 2 in bot lane, but here it is again. The Sleepy Bubble Trouble sets it up. Xmithie is in position, flashes straight in, full commitment.
And let's remember, he's ganking for a level 2 Kassadin. Like, there's almost no damage coming from him. That's the trade in the bottom lane here. Bwipo could maybe just kept running away from the start, but he actually wanted to get a hit on Olleh to see if he could kill him, and then Doublelift gets in range.
And that was a beautiful taunt from Olleh, setting that up at level 1, gets the double taunt through, drops the ignite, and Mark's been looking pretty viable.
Also, Azil, you said, if the Fnatic draft starts falling behind, it gets really difficult. Not only you got to scale the Kassadin, you don't have any sort of wave clear. Well, they're behind now. They're trying to get back. Broxah's on its way bot lane.
Broxah's behind Liquid. There's no flashes available, so if you can get that one to set up,
oh,
nope,
that's
horrible. Gets out
horrible.
of range, and the Shen can walk away from the brush. Actually, Hex flash to make sure.
I mean, he's level 2 still, and now you show bot lane at level 2. Xmithie can go into your topside jungle, take that away while the Kassadin's being pushed in.
But that gank should have worked. Like, you have flash on Hylissang, you have no flash on Doublelift, but horrible knockback from Broxah, completely missing everything, and therefore Doublelift just walks away.
And you can question, why does he actually spend that before the flash combo is used from Hylissang to guarantee it? Doublelift is without flash from that level 1 fight, so definitely some poor execution here in the early moments from Fnatic.
The call was good to go bot lane there, even though it was risky level 2, because it should have given you a free kill onto the enemy Kai'Sa, but when you then completely misplayed, you just end up looking like a fool.
Well, unfortunately, foolish for Fnatic, but we are going to take stock back at this game. An 1,100 gold difference as we look across the lanes. Pretty equivalent in the top lane, despite the first blood assist. Mid actually still pretty good for Caps. He's got good farm so far. Has TP if he needs to get back to lane at some point later on as well. And Fnatic right now a bit of shove in, looking for their possible opportunity. A taunt to get out of range. As Doublelift full supercharger to walk away.
Xmithie's around now. Potential gank number 2. No flash on Bwipo. We have to remember that.
But he revealed himself.
All right, they saw him, so he's not going for it. I want to highlight one small thing now. We had so much focus on the junglers. This is the first time this split we see Broxah's Taliyah. And so far, it's not been great. First gank in the mid lane and then missing everything on the bottom side. Rough start for him.
And Bwipo is without his pool right now. They have to be careful about this.
Aftershock means he's so tanky, though. It's kind of nice. Just he knows he has a keystone up, goes for the headbutt into the wall, and it's really good damage. Comes out ahead on that trade. Olleh does not have an easy way back to lane. He has to walk away and heal back up because
he's coming again.
Yeah, if they push up too far, they're trying to kind of bait them in. And Xmithie is behind Bwipo.
No flash Vlad. And they're going to go in for that champion itself. He's going to be feared up under the flash forward. They're going to get that kill into Olleh. No, he taunts back. And he does stay out of range. Now here comes Kassadin. Caps his 5, but Bwipo gets that kill first up. Another chase on a Doublelift. He's very, very low. One more hit. And sOAZ shows up. The 2 TPs work out as Hylissang walks out. A great bot lane dive. Fnatic 2-0.
Yeah, nicely played there by Fnatic. The double TP coming through. They're actually sending 5-man bots. They're going to try to commit and take the first tower, perhaps.
You can always argue, is it worth it to TP for kills here? Well, they also saved one of their members, and if they get the turret, or at least a ton of damage on it, it probably will be worth it now. But there is some free time for Impact.
This is dangerous.
Impact 5, once again looking at a possible fear. This is a really good ulti across as well. And Bwipo going to have to try to get away from this one, but look at the damage out of the back end. They've got 1-for-1 so far. The taunt lands though. Can they knock down Kassadin? Flashes away, tries to stay alive with that ultimate, but the Ignite is ticking down. And Olleh gets that kill. 2-1 in that exchange. Team Liquid make it up.
So in the end, TL get a bunch of kills. They saved the turret, but now they were the ones TPing down to the bottom lane here. Impact used both ult and his teleport. Meanwhile, mid lane, Pobelter right now is pushing in.
Yeah, Pobelter never TP'd, so he's pushing in. He's getting a bit of turret damage here, and Liquid comes out with the additional kills here. Xmithie moving in, looking for the play. But this is a very fast double TP actually coming in from Fnatic, and they look to turn it around.
Yeah, so they know, okay, there's no flash here in the bottom lane. We can get at least 1 or 2 kills. And then they also look towards the turret with Broxah, who's running from the jungle down to join the team. But because GB is ulti, and there's another TP coming in from Doublelift, well, in this meta, you can randomly show up with 3-4 members when people do not expect it and turn it around.
Yeah, Bwipo took a lot of damage there. Actually, the turret shot plus all the initial damage there from Xmithie. Caps barely burning down to the Ignite, but you know, this is a good kind of counterplay to it. Overall, TL certainly comes ahead in the play, but I think it's good to see Fnatic being proactive and looking for plays after falling behind.
Ooh, might get more fights here. Xmithie's only level 5.
How good's the fight going to be with Mundo in your face, though? It's going to be Gangplank maybe walking away, controlling for the tri-brush. Control ward's still there, and looks like it's Liquid able to sit on top of that red buff. And yeah, Kassadin seeds lane control, looking at this damage out, flashing forward, looking for the damage output, but I believe he didn't land the E. Olleh stays alive. Hylissang pretty injured as well, and that's Bwipo losing flash for not enough damage.
And this is now Xmithie at 6, so he can look for a gank. He steals the red buff away. Broxah does get 5, but Caps is on the roam again.
Yeah, but remember the bot lane just used the flashes on the side of Fnatic. In case Xmithie shows up, he can kill them. They're looking for something here. Fnatic level 5 on Bwipo now. But look, Xmithie's on his way with the Nocturne.
And he's going to be in range of the ultimate pretty much right around now. It's about the disengage tools of Fnatic. If they have Aftershock available and Sanguine Pool as their survival tools. Quick blue transfer, shouldn't be much of a problem here. That'll go to Caps without an issue on him. Ocean Drake is the first one of the game, so when some team gets complete control, they can start grabbing that for more resource gains. And
feels bad.
Up. There we go. Force Pulse comes in.
Just want another stack on his tier right there.
Leash at least. That would be. That's the really awkward one.
That's true. Nice start though. Like so many fights, especially around the bottom lane here. Everyone being involved. I think we've seen every single TP used towards the bottom lane already in this game here. We have Xmithie on level 6. We're waiting for that first ulti. Flashes on the other side of Fnatic. Only Broxah is sitting with it ready right now.
And Xmithie really wants to go bot with this. You can actually go get in there. If you can apply your fear, that can give Plasma to Doublelift, and he can kind of follow up there with his own ultimate. So if Fnatic continues to play aggressively, it gets very, very dangerous now that Nocturne is post 6, and they're going to have to really be cognizant of where this Nocturne could be, which allows Doublelift a little bit more freedom, a little bit more safety to farm without then jumping on him.
Yeah, because your window towards the top side is kind of closing. Once Mundo gets Sunfire completed, against double physical damage deals on the side of TL with GP and Nocturne, he's getting harder and harder to actually shut down, and is it then worth it? But for now, he can still do it. There's not that much defensive stats or armor on the side of sOAZ in case he goes for tower dive. He's around the top side.
Yep, right now Xmithie though getting a bit of control over this side of the map, and Broxah is now heading towards the bottom lane, so no gangs top for at least a little while here as we wait for the first paranoia of the game. Checking in on gold, 1,700 the lead for Team Liquid, and that's actually a lot of that at this point farmed. They're only up a single kill. So a lot of extra money in this squad from efficiency here as the Blues hand it over. Pobelter feeling good. Gangplank, of course, printing money in his own right, but either way, it's farm leads in a lot of places.
Yeah, I mean, Xmithie has a big advantage, right? And a lot of that is because of kind of the failure of Broxah's early gank, dying, then going bot and failing that gank still at level 2. Really did give Xmithie quite a bit of extra time, and you can see not only the kills, but the farm has him out to a significant advantage. But, you know, anytime you see a Nocturne in a game, I feel like so much really does come down to the first ultimate. Having those ultimates come out very early, very often, and be effective. If you're able to get kills with them, it's much easier to snowball that forward.
Looking at the mid as Broxah gets the knockback with his Nocturne next to him. He's got to flash away. Pope not quite going to get any more Qs to land, but does take a turret shot. Gangplank ult committed as well.
That was very aggressive ulti from Impact. I'm not sure if he thought more damage would land onto him, but that's an all-in bot.
That pulverized. The top's not going to find anything, and there's no follow-through yet. A decent chunk right there from Bwipo.
Yeah. That's a lot of damage. I mean, that is the power of building all this flat AP. It used to always be Vladimir's rush CDR, really wanted to hit the 40% for the kind of spell rotations, and now it's become much more about these flat AP builds. Spellbinder into Death Cap with Spell Pen and Oblivion Orb and Sorcerer's Boots, and it's all about the first round actually just killing your opponent. And it is extremely powerful, but if you fail your engage, if you fail your pool, then you become so worthless.
It's kind of the first 2 to 3 seconds, it's fantastic for the Vladimir with all the upfront damage, and then once Kai'Sa gets her Rage Blade, then suddenly her damage after some time that she can return is enough to just take down the Vladimir. But that's one of the reasons we see a lot of support like Alistar now being back in here. You know, we had a lot of time with range supports being played, but Alistar, who can force a fight into quick burst from a Vladimir, kills most AD carries. Kai'Sa is going to try and stay safe with the Shen here, but it's going to be tough.
And that's why I would like to see Doublelift picking up some early MR, whether he even wants to sit on a Null Magic Mantle and build that into a Banshees later, or pick up something, you know, like a QSS or perhaps even an early Hex Drinker, I think can be extremely valuable because, as you say, if he can stay alive in the fights, his damage is going to ramp up. He's going to outperform his opponents, but with Kassadin and Taliyah and the combo from Alistar and Vladimir, everything piling in, the chances of living through that early burst are pretty low right now.
Yeah, the perfect fight for Fnatic in this game only lasts like 3-4 seconds, and they've already killed Doublelift or Pobelter, and then the fight is basically won in favor of them. So it's going to be fun to see if TL can actually get the long fights. Can they disengage properly? I don't feel like their peel is fantastic, because they have Nocturne and GP who actually rarely get to the backline themselves.
I mean, they have some disengage tools, right? Just the darkness in itself can make coordination difficult, and you have a Shen ultimate as well. But the also thing is, can Fnatic get through that end game state, though, as well, as they are losing the laning phase and don't have great wave clear. Nice stun right there. They're going to find some damage into Olleh, but it's a TP back in for Doublelift, and now without Alistar cooldowns, they'll have to disengage off this. And it is Liquid just quietly winning the laning phase, though, printing money and getting ready for the next sort of major plays. So far, no crazy damage dealt yet, but they are stacking up gold, up 2,000 now.
And the other piece of that puzzle you always have to consider is Zoe poke, right? You know, yes, Fnatic would love to engage, and that initial engage can be very powerful, but if you hit a sleep onto a Taliyah or a Kassadin and can chunk them out, well, that engage never happens. And we've seen, you know, a lot of Zoes be very, very effective with that. Still looking for Xmithie to actually get his first early ult off, but Pobelter, ooh, flash used from Caps there.
And Pobelter uses his real flash as well to get the damage up with there. He thought he had the chance of going for an actual kill right there, but Caps healthy enough getting out. But Pobelter was Spell Thief getting his fake flash, and he's ready to keep moving.
And no help here for Caps at all from his own jungler, because Broxah was killing camps on the top side. And therefore also a Drake for Team Liquid. And they have actually a lot of control here on the bottom side.
Yeah, I mean, look at all the wards. There's 3 pink wards on this bottom side. They really want to keep Doublelift safe. They really want to keep Pobelter safe, keep them farming, keep them in this stage. And I mean, Doublelift has hit his Rage Blade. I am going to be very interested if he is just going pure damage and going into, you know, his Stinger and his Nashers right away, or if he's going to piss off for some MR. I do think that, you know, the MR may be the wiser choice.
Witsend may very well be better. I think it's very close because I think it's reasonable to say I have Shen, I have Nocturne, I'm probably okay to go damage, but I want to see what comes in. Here comes the Paranoia, and there is no flash. The flea is on. Pobelter gets that kill. 5-3 Team Liquid.
Caps just pulled a Hoonie right there. No flash. Not sure who's actually around the lane, and then he jumps forward with his escape to try and kill the wave. Instantly he gets punished, and now they're looking for Broxah.
Yeah, and a nice move really from Doublelift as well, going up to try to help that out. He still has his ult available, so he could look for Bwipo here.
Bwipo does have flash, does have Sanguine. Pool goes over early. Doublelift and flash back over. And Bwipo can outplay this one. Oh! Gets the damage anyway, and now now it's Broxah going down to the mid lane. Xmithie can do no wrong here, looking for a bit more of a chase, but now has back to re-engage a flash for the cleaver. And here comes the rest of the team. No taunt. Alistar will drop. He'll lose his life to ignite. Now it's a 2-on-2 in the mid lane. Good luck to Xmithie. He's been slowed down. More damage coming through. Ripwalk make sure he can claim it as sOAZ finds the 5th kill for Fnatic. But still a 3-kill lead for Liquid coming out ahead on this one.
And they just keep fighting here, but Impact, he will get the first turret by just staying top lane, not TPing anywhere on this GP. So he's going to look very, very good now. Going to be very far ahead in gold compared to sOAZ, despite sOAZ sitting on 2 kills. If I just click at it right now, there's 1,500 gold lead for Impact in this 1v1.
Yeah, that solo first turret's so big. This is one of the funniest fights I think I've ever seen. Doublelift outthinking himself a little bit, perhaps. Ults over the wall, expecting Bwipo to be flashing there, but he did it too early. So Bwipo flashes over. The last Q shot there, taking him down.
We'll watch this replay. I want to talk about that later, but this is the fight in the mid lane. We didn't see Zoe go down, but a great setup of Hylissang.
So they all in, probably not expecting that Nocturne would still be in the jungle and could show up behind him. The moment he's there, after actually that sleep landed onto Broxah, that was huge because it made it easy for Xmithie to land his damage and take him down quickly. And of course, then Cap TP's in and it's now a chase. 2 members taking him down.
And good thinking by Olleh there, realizing, okay, well, Xmithie's probably dead, but I can actually get a kill here for free on the support. Camping out in the brush, not trying to taunt appeal. And there is Fnatic sneaking in this brush, going to be looking for Doublelift. They need to stay spread against the Alistar combo. If you are grouped up, you both initially get hit, it's going to be dangerous.
Olleh tanks the Tides of Blood. Everything's going to be okay. And this one is they wave clear and no one's going for the dive just yet. Maybe as the wave resets. No, Liquid walks back.
Well, while this happens, topside, there's a fight plus a Rift Help being taken by Team Liquid. So as long as they don't die bot lane here, yeah, they can lose a turret, but they will definitely get a turret in return from this buff.
Yeah, and they are going to get that turret. TL playing very respectfully, knowing that Xmithie is topside, knowing that they haven't seen Broxah. They are assuming that he is down there in the bottom lane, and they would be correct. So they give up the turret, but they get the Rift. The turret was low anyway, and as you said, they can look to try to go for a positive trade, and especially with Nocturne ult up, with GP ult coming up, if you can get a kill, you can potentially snowball that into 2 turrets.
They really could, but I want to point out that Fnatic are starting to get some things going for them. sOAZ just forced Impact's flash and a heads up one-on-one, and sOAZ had more unspent gold than Impact. So they both recall. It's actually even better for the Mundo since last time, and that could be really big. Nice chunk, not quite going to land. Caps able to walk away cleanly. Part of the way that matchup is good, and now a fight towards the bottom side. Bwipo puts on the Hemo Plague, has to get away from Doublelift. Nice taunt flash comes in. That will be the kill picked up. Make sure they can hand over the gold properly, and Doublelift 300 gold richer.
Nicely done there, utilizing the Shen ultimate very, very well, and more fights potentially here in the mid lane. Hylissang,
just not at a headbutt range.
Zoning.
This very weird champion in the bottom lane from Doublelift, I believe they might be called AD carries, are currently beating the mage from Fnatic.
Unviable.
Definitely viable in this one here, because the Shen combination with Doublelift, that means that he's not afraid of getting bursted down. He gets time to just deal damage onto the Vladimir.
Hex Flash, he's in range, but that pulverize will be turning to sleep, but that might not matter. Nocturne on the backside. Who else can show up in time? Not anyone, actually. That's one kill picked up in the stopwatch. Buys a few seconds. Broxah not gonna fall. sOAZ takes it as well. A huge lead for Fnatic pick up 2 kills.
Impact almost getting the 1v2 kill there, but he actually overcommitted, couldn't get in range of Broxah. He could have just walked out with sOAZ being in that stopwatch and, you know, just taking his victory as surviving.
I'm gonna turn that around and say Fnatic just got 2 kills for themselves, and we'll probably get a top lane turret as well. Big plays on their side because they were down. You know, they're looking at this Fed AD carry on the bottom side. They needed something to go in their favor. Top lane dive plus the kill mid.
Yeah, very well played by sOAZ, thinking as long as he possibly could. Impact, his eyes get big here. He's saying, I'm going to get the 1v2 kill, but chasing forward, couldn't get in range of Broxah, could have just backed off and kind of mitigated the loss there. Said it's a good win to survive. Instead, he tries to go for the big play and ends up falling short, so nicely done there by Fnatic.
And Azale, you wrote out Magic Resist, Hex Trigger in the inventory for Doublelift. I would have thought Wit's End, but no, going for the shield power instead, and now going for Fnatic.
Yeah, and Xmithie is almost going to be on a completed Maw. I just think this is very, very smart, building towards these item efficiencies. We're also seeing Impact go towards the Stormrazor. This is so powerful because the crit actually works on your barrels as well. So, you know, the 3-item spike can be so incredibly good from GP with that Stormrazor, with the Triforce and potentially, you know, a Sterix or even IE.
And to the earlier point, a Banshee second for Pobelter, so it is going to be some efficient itemization. Again, no hard tanks. You can still burn through these champions, but again, efficiency pretty important here as now we reset as the Ocean Drake is alive. Baron's up and 10, and Fnatic again look top.
Yeah, they know they need to find some more picks here, especially with the Kassadin.
They found one.
He has teleport, but I don't know if he can channel or get him away in time. Gonna find Broxah, finds a little bit of damage there, but the rest of the party is here. He gets an orange, and the barrel gets killed off. It might not matter. He's trying to run Riftwalk way faster than your legs can sprint. It'll be a trade for an Ocean Drake.
Yeah, Fnatic trading the kill onto Kassadin. Specifically onto the Kassadin is important to highlight because Caps is the member who needs to get far ahead. So you can always assassinate the back line.
And Caps is working well towards that. You know, quietly, he has been plugging away. He is up farm now on Pobelter. He has picked up 3 kills for himself. His Roa is stacking. He's going to be pretty close to that Archangels. And, you know, you stack that tier so fast that when he completes it, it's already going to be pretty much all done in the next couple of minutes. So that 2-item spike is going to be very big. When you get a Sheen on him, he can start to look for the split push or even to start diving backline and looking for those kills.
Still a very tense one here. A 3,000 gold difference. The Liquid are very slowly edging a bit of extra gold in their favor, and they've been getting those Drakes as well. Fnatic on a great late game sort of scaling team. This Kassadin just needs to get through the laning phase. Has done so pretty well. Individual gold-wise, he is the richest on his team and has more than pretty much anyone but this Kaisa and Gangplank on the Liquid side. So in a decent spot, honestly, is Caps. And all the buffs to Kassadin in 8.13 were AP ratios and scaling buffs. So his late game is better than it's been in a very long time.
Yeah, his late game is very fearsome, but anytime you are Caps, you're still going to have to be very scared about jumping forward before you have your Zhonya's, because if you rift walk forward, the Nocturne ults onto you, the amount of turnaround damage there is still very big, and he is pretty squishy. But once you get that Zhonya's, you really do have a lot more freedom to play, and once your Seraphs is stacked up, that mana shield can really help to keep you alive in the fights.
I also think just sOAZ being 3-0 has actually been pretty huge for Fnatic, because he's going to be very quick. It is very unkillable Mundo. There's enough damage on the side of Team Liquid in the longer fights, but as we kept highlighting, you know, it's quick fights. Mundo just needs to stay alive for like 5-6 seconds, and then Fnatic should have killed someone. Yeah. Smart itemization, though, from Impact, as you're just highlighting there still with the healing reduction. And
I do think that players are starting to finally realize more the value of that healing reduction when they're fighting against these Vladimirs and Mundos and everyone. I'm seeing people pick up those Executioners early on, which does make a lot of sense, but Fnatic could go for a potential dive here.
Decent damage. Xmithie pushed away, and a flash out of Doublelift. I think he might have been in range of the seismic shove hitting him, so the burn that, but now sOAZ on the wings. Of course, Mundo, not an easy target to chase away, and he's going to be fine on this one. Just reaching back up as Liquid now starting to be on the back foot. They're under their turrets defending, flashing away from skill shots, and Caps on the wings, could find some damage to Pobelter, jumps forward, gets good damage across. Vladimir wants it as well. He's going to be pulled, dropping down, needs a shut up, but he's still going to die. And now into the back lines they go. 5v4, can they find it? The kill's going to come across Xmithie, and Impact pick up 1. They get another trade, 2-1 so far for Liquid. As they flash away, Double getting a 3rd kill, and now it's sOAZ and
Bwipo chase them down here.
Just left alone. The ultis have timed out. Double wants in, but doesn't have the ult to follow through. They're going to look instead at the mid lane, look for tier 2 on this one.
I mean, we're only 20 minutes into the game, and Fnatic are diving between 2 turrets here, going for the kills. They saw an opening when Pobelter dropped low, but they completely forgot about Doublelift.
And yeah, Pobelter is not the most important member on this team. I would say Impact and Doublelift are going to be more effective in those long fights. So Fnatic giving up a lot there, will lose their inner mid turret, and definitely a big price to pay this early on.
That is huge. They got the opening pick, but they overcommitted to the 5v4. And Team Liquid now up a solid 5,500 gold. Able to reset and buy those items pretty conveniently.
And Team Liquid felt forced to stay around mid lane because whenever they went to side lanes, a Kassadin or Taliyah would just show up and assassinate them, and they wanted to just defend. Fnatic forcing the fight here is really not necessary, but because they see the low Zoe, they're like, yes, 4v5, let's do it. But look at Kai'Sa to the left. Gets out of all the CC, and now she can just return and deal damage.
Yeah, and track its ultimate. The nice ultimate over the wall, utilizing those plasma that were onto Caps, moves him out of danger from sOAZ and Bwipo, allows him to pick up those 2 kills, and really getting to a very strong point now. Nasher's completed as well.
Probably also going to see Impact being towards the top in terms of damage done in that fight. I think the ulti landed on all 5 members for the entire fight from that GP.
And that is triple Hexdrinker now for TL, so they really are, you know, looking dollar for dollar at the magic resistance, saying this is incredibly effective, and I do think that it is very intelligent. We may see, those upgraded eventually, QSSs and things being picked up, but Impact has to be careful because he is being preyed on a little bit in the side lanes. Fnatic has been looking for it.
And I also need to be careful about the Baron, because there are 2 members bot lane at the moment.
Flash in for this one. There's not an easy way out for Impact. Losing the first barrel, Luck's going to find much of anything. Going to try to run the move speed, but another Ripbox available. He's going to have the damage, and there's the kill picked up in the 2-on-1. But now
double TP for Fnatic. They can go straight to the Baron here and 4v5.
CL's going to back out.
Try to smite. They're going to find a bubble. On this one, they're going to try to burn down Kassadin and Mundo. They got one so far. And the jump forward. They might have this one. Caps his days or not, but he's going to get dropped out right there.
That was so clean from TL. The immediate taunt as Mundo comes in, bursts down before having any chance to survive. No ultimate available. They pick up Caps as well. And TL outplaying Fnatic across the map.
They just got double TP blown right there. Fnatic's plan was to kill the bottom lane GP, go straight to the fight, and have people ready. But Hylissang was not close to the Baron. He couldn't get in time. And that meant suddenly it was actually 2 members only from Fnatic fighting against all of TL.
Exactly. I mean, Fnatic thought that they could go for the pincer move, collapse from both sides and kill everyone. Instead, TL pulls off, attacks the weak side with the 2 members in a 4v2, and the rest of Fnatic was not grouped up. They could have played this more slowly. They could have TP'd to a ward, perhaps closer to their team. Instead, they commit to this, and TL goes straight for the fight.
But also missed calls here from Fnatic. Honestly, 2 of the members walked behind the Baron to just put a ward over when the call was, let's fight them, we're TPing in, so they were not close.
Round 2, control wards in for both teams. Bwipo tunnels himself in, but actually slightly cut off the Kassadin. Either way, it's going to be enough, and the warning says, okay, the jungler's in range for the smite, let's not risk this one out. Broxah does have his flash, and has been a good smiter from what I can remember of international competition. Xmithie, of course, great in his own right, but discretion the better part of Valor here. They're going to back off. Cloud Drake available. And I want to see if they wait until 29 minutes to kill it to force an early Elder spawn.
Kind of interested to see Olleh actually go for the early Knight's Vow instead of something like a Locket. I really think would have been actually a lot more effective against all this magic damage coming out, all this AoE. It is arguable, but living through that initial burst with the Locket, with the Moss Shield, with all these things can be very, very effective. And I think Doublelift is now going to work his way towards a Banshee's Veil also. So really looking for maximum efficiency. And it does get tougher and tougher for Fnatic unless they can kill someone instantly at the start of the fight.
Yeah, and I think that's why he's going Knight's Vow, because he only cares about the one guy, which is Doublelift. He's also probably going to ult to Doublelift with the Shen and just say, I need this guy to survive. Might be more effective for the entire team with the Locket Shield, but as long as Doublelift is there, he is extremely fit on the Kai'Sa. Fnatic, they just run out of damage after the initial engage.
Yeah, and with Caps, itemizing towards this Lich Bane third, still no Zhonya's. So while he is going to do an incredible amount of damage, he's so vulnerable himself. And we have seen TL always turning towards him as he goes in.
They're actually trying for a pretty big play here, Fnatic, but just a little bit afraid of this one. Impact, he burns the ultimate to scout out and says, okay, yes, they were hitting it. People are around, but gonna stop this one. So Fnatic had the option of looking at that rush as TL had put so many players on the right side of the map, but no punish.
TL's just going to shove mid here and look to actually force Fnatic to come to them. And this is the right choice. So you get mid lane priority, then you can go over to the objectives and really kind of reestablish your vision control. So TL playing calmly, does have the 3-dragon advantage. And in these extended poke trades as well, the double ocean can become pretty big. So having that on the side of TL, allowing Zoe to get that poke and then try to heal back up from any traded damages, potentially could be big.
Right now, Fnatic kind of running out of space. I mentioned in Champ Select, Wave Clear's not great. Sieging could work pretty well. 6 turrets already gone means only the inhibitor line and the turrets in front of those left up as TL can go between mid lane, top lane, bot lane, and of course that Baron Nashor is going to pull their opponents apart. Minion wave should be in their favor. All of them can wave through quite quickly.
Fnatic's only way back is fighting. It's not going to be sit back and try and stall the game here by wave clearing. No. It's going to be looking for TL to start a Baron, and then you can engage from 2 different angles. Or if TL is trying to push forward in one lane, you look for the flank. Hylissang's flash is available, which is huge for the start of the fight. Sadly for him, every single member on the side of Team Liquid can actually flash away when he goes in.
Not getting rid of the mid wave. Broxah gets found out, but that's not going to be a jump you want to go for yet as the Kai'Sa. Nice by Olleh, pulls the wave, no turret damage, and quick farm goes over. Bit of damage there, and actually, Caps puts in quite a lot. Nice rip lock way gets out from Olleh. Actually flashes for that one.
Yeah, I mean, that's the flash. That's really not worth it. He goes in, he gets a bit of poke, and he has to trade out his flash. No Zhonya's, no flash. Caps is going to be so vulnerable in the next fight, and perhaps overestimating how much damage he could get done there on his Doublelift, but
maybe so. Maybe he was hoping he could like burn a flash out of the Shen or something
most
and
likely,
trade, but of course not what happened there. And down a Summoner, Kassadin, one of the most resilient to that at least. As Team Liquid now play for this top jungle control. A couple of control wards in their midst, and plenty of invisible ones now taking over vision as well. Liquid see a lot around this red buff area. That is step one for Baron, is don't let them walk up to it. And so far, that is just darkness for Fnatic.
Just got level 16 for Caps here. Big power spike for him, but no way of staying alive if he gets CC'd by a taunt or if he gets, feared by Xmithie. Team Liquid are pinging around the Baron. They have so much control on the top side.
Yeah, they really do. And one of the things that they're going to have to do a good job of calculating is actually how many shields there are for Doublelift. It's 600 plus from his ultimate shield, 350 from the Maw. There's the hundreds of shielding as well from the Shen ult, and they may just be getting this Baron. It looks like it's gone.
I got too late. Wait.
Control played too well. The smite comes in, and Liquid grabbed that one without contest, and that was 6 minutes in the making, playing for vision, playing for waves, and that was the effortless Baron, the result of all their hard work.
And that's the Banshees completed now for Doublelift. He is on 4 items complete, so much magic resist in the tank here, and he is becoming so damn hard to kill. There is 3 Maws completed on this TL squad. There are no really easy targets anymore, and the amount of shielding means Doublelift is almost always going to get to that ramped up phase to live through the initial burst, unless Fnatic can have a perfect engage, unless they can catch him in a combo and fling him in everything at once. I don't see how you kill Doublelift in a reasonable fight.
Well, you're going to hope for an unreasonable one. That's what you're going to play for, right? Is try to find those crazy openings where you can poke off the Banshee's Veil shield. Bwipo gets the full charge. He's got the 100 stacks there on the Spellbinder's Orb, and that burst can exist. Everything lines up, you do get that amount of burst, but that is, the stars must align.
Yeah, I also think Fnatic really want to wait just a couple of minutes for Void Staffs to be ready. You can see both on Bwipo and Caps, they're building towards them. No flash on the Kassadin.
A sleepy Taliyah, but able to walk away. Woke up by the Dustbringer.
Yeah, and I mean, he is woke up, but he's still down to half HP, and this is one of the kind of X factors that I was talking about with this composition. You have the Zoe poke, and anytime Zoe is able to catch Broxah or catch Caps with that poke, it is going to be so meaningful. It makes it so that they don't get to then engage those fights, or they're very vulnerable if they do. Because if you are engaging a fight as a half HP Taliyah, well, that's a one-shot from this Nocturne with a level 3 ultimate.
Yeah. Looks like Drop Portal coming through for Olleh. I do believe that's the build path in this day and age. Of course, Banner of Command no longer in the game, and you can find something else to summon minions to knock turrets down. The crowd partially cheers for banner removal. Don't disagree for what it's worth.
Or they miss it. Who knows?
Who knows? I say their favorite words. Nathan Fillion and Firefly. Woo! That kind of thing. But thank you, my kind of audience. Either way, though, turret's now under siege. Baron buff is on, and Fnatic has to defend right here.
And it's always an awkward spot when you're trying to defend the base at this angle, because GP can be looking for barrel chains over the wall. They have the pink ward to actually set up for that, and TL pushing him from multiple sides. Ooh, that poke.
Yep, no shoves back. Doublelift able to walk away pretty cleanly.
And that's Hylissang's ultimate down, so now he really can engage without it being a one-way trip.
Aftershock not going to keep you alive against as much damage, that's for sure. As poke comes back and forth, Cleaver's thrown, another chance to shove for the cannon minions, and Fnatic have weathered the first 2 minutes of the Baron buff now. 50 seconds left, that's 2 waves.
We have Void Staff number 1 here for Caps. Number 2 should follow very soon for Bwipo. They might only get 1 fight on the side of Fnatic, and they have to win it. They're TPing in behind. This could be it.
This is the play. The flash pulverize gets 2 in the back line. He pops the hourglass, and now it's cast in the back line. Looks for the damage of Pobelter. He just can't make it happen. Doublelift shuts them all down. 2 for 0 impact, running for dear life, and he's gonna stay alive. Bwipo falls well, a double kill for the lift himself, and it's now sOAZ trying to get it, but the fear is on. The back line is there, a triple kill for the Kaisa, and sOAZ is going to drop for this one. The base is left open. Liquid able to run it home.
Not even close to enough damage there for Fnatic. The desperation play comes in, but they will fall, and TL are going to take this one.
sOAZ makes it interesting, but 19-10 the kills. The minions are there. Fnatic are dead, and as Baron runs off, Liquid get the first edge in the group stage for North America. 3-2 the current standings as Liquid get revenge for MSI.
That's such a big one here for North America, because they know you gotta look towards Team Liquid if you want to guarantee some of these wins here. They take down Fnatic. Very competitive game, and Team Liquid and Fnatic, they were both very active in the early game, but it always felt like Team Liquid was slightly ahead, both in terms of farm, but also they won some of these early trades.
I mean, at 2 minutes, it was 2-0. The bot lane one heads up 2-on-2.
Slightly ahead,
The
baby.
mid lane one up 2-on-2.
There we go.
But they farmed really well. I mean, they did play a controlled game. This is Liquid. They are the most standard teams in NA, and they win through lane, through good mid game.
And draft and damage profiles actually did come into play quite a lot. You
Yeah.
saw how efficient the itemization was here for TL. You know, even with them diving in, there's so many shields to break through onto Doublelift. Not only do you have to deal with all the damage reduction from the MR, but there was well over 1,500 worth of shielding on Doublelift in that final fight. And that is so tough to burst through if you are not way, way ahead.
I just saw it to coordinate as well. The last engage we saw here, Hylissang didn't have his ult, he had to use a stopwatch. He jumped in before Caps even got to the fight. He had just finished his TP.
Yeah.
And then obviously you can't really get to the carries you need to. And the moment we saw the Kassadin jump in, Doublelift was like, okay, shoot him twice, and then he's dead. And that's what you can do with a late game AD carry, who, by the way, did really well also early game.
Yeah, definitely did do really well. But it's been kind of fun to actually watch this game because it's one of the things that we were talking about coming into Rift Rivals is these differing styles. And, you know, G2 very well known for their excellent funneling, and TL trying to play it very standard. Fnatic going for these kind of more just bruisery bot lanes with mages and fighters and all these sorts of things. And we are seeing a clash of these different styles, and at least for now, TL and the standard composition does come out ahead.
Yeah, so far Team Liquid undefeated here at Rift Rivals so far, 2-0, I believe, their overall total record. And some of these margins, I want to say, were very, very close. That bot lane 2-on-2, the headbutt put him within 50 range of turret shots. Like, that was so very, very close to him getting 120 damage from the turret, dropping, getting a trade kill down there. That lane then looks different, and the whole texture of the game can be quite a bit more. But the way it worked out, Liquid had a convincing win. So now to hear more about the victory from Team Liquid, let's send it to Olleh and the victorious 100% North American mid laner.
Thanks, guys. Congratulations, Pobelter. How good does it feel to take down Fnatic and seize control of groups for NA?
Feels pretty cool, I guess. Wish I had played better, but feels good that we won. Peter really popped off, so did Olleh.
Now, this was a pretty hyped matchup. Were there any doubts coming into this game?
No.
None whatsoever, just pure confidence. Well, what about the rest of EU? Are they living up to expectations and all the hype that was built around them?
Well, I think that Fnatic and G2 are really strong teams, and I think Splice is all right too, but they don't have that much international experience, so they're not really performing that well yet. Really, it's just kind of, I feel like it's kind of weird because the group stages can go any way at all, but then the only thing that really matters is the best of 5 at the end of the weekend, so it feels kind of weird because I was thinking, what if one side just went 0-9 and then that team just like sweeps the best of 5? Then it's like none of that would have even mattered.
That is true, but you play G2 later today before you hit that best of 5, so what are your thoughts on them?
G2 has they really like to funnel, of course. Like we saw in most of their games in EU, they funneled. So we did scrim them leading up to this event, and they didn't really play that strategy against us. So I think they've been hiding it, and I think we'll just be able to see whose strategy is better, and then whoever wins, we'll see what happens in the best of 5.
Well, I wish you the best of luck with that. Congratulations again, and for more on the game, let's hear from the analyst desk.
Thank you very much, Olleh. Team Liquid representing North America, right? Picking up that easy victory over the 1 seed from Europe in Fnatic. I feel like we should just relive that game maybe a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? That feels right.
It was such a great game for a North American fan. I mean, we just crushed in the 2v2 skirmishes in the mid lane. You know, just right here, Xmithie exerting his dominance as the superior jungler, and then the bot lane skirmishes once again. These level 1 first ones by Blood by Vladimir.
I was going to say double
normal in North America.
Yeah. You don't play Vlad into Doublelift. He knows what he's doing against those Vladimirs on the 80 carries.
Yeah, and then once they started making those plays in the bot lane, they get elsewhere on the map. They start going to the mid lane, making these global plays. Doublelift showing off here. Like, yes, the correct play is just wait and follow the flash, but you don't need to do that. You're Doublelift. Go over, flash back, and
I know what you were thinking. Let me show you what you were thinking and how poor a decision it would be.
Let me give you a little bit of hope before I kill you. And then once again here, just Fnatic having no idea who the real carry is on this team. I mean,
gross overdive.
Yeah, like, why are you not getting on to Doublelift? Pobelter's a threat, of course, but, you know, he's not the main focus.
Feels like a Vedius shot call.
Yeah, that feels like
one of those moments.
And then, you know, once that happened, nothing else really happened in the game until we got Baron. There was no slowdown at all.
Easy peasy.
they tried to pick this fight, just had no hope of working because once again, Doublelift.
Once again, Doublelift off to the side, just completely ignored on the AP Kai'Sa. It was like 7-1 at that point in the game. Yeah,
well,
sure
so I think it's because they were told that marksmen aren't good by Reckless.
Right, I think there's like a really good marksman in Europe who's made it definitively clear that AD carries just can't be played.
Yeah, I mean, Reckless told them they're bad. Don't focus him in fights. So of course they didn't touch Doublelift. And there you see. You know,
spells their demise is what it does. And you know what, Mark? Here's the deal. This desk, you know, it's always felt like a two-man desk. I always thought it was a little overpopulated. You know what I mean?
Yeah, quality over quantity. We don't need 4 people.
That's what I grew up hearing. Was it was exactly that. And so, as some of you may not have seen in the pregame, Jat decided to go ahead and be a traitor to his entire country in North America by electing to suggest that Europe would win all 5 games today. So we went together and put a little list together. We're going to throw that up on the screen here. This is a trending list of top 10 traders all time. Of course, Benedict Arnold will top the list, but Jat is making a run for his money there. Judas, you know, coming in just behind.
Yeah, since the founding of America, Jat is quickly pushing in to be the greatest trader. And like you said, Judas historically, but you know, people kind of forget things with time. It's hard to stay all-time great when it happened 2,000 years ago.
Right.
Jat real fresh in memory.
Saruman, right? Who could forget, you know, him? But yeah, Jat fresh in our memory right there at top 2. We'll see what he can do over the course of the next day and a half to maybe snag that #1 spot. We're going to give him an opportunity to make his situation even worse now as we throw it over to our fabulous losers.
This sucks.
This does suck.
Yeah.
Welcome. This is my second time on this stupid
What is
deck.
this like? Like, I've never really been an EU fan until today, and now I know why it's so painful.
Group stages aren't great for us.
Yeah.
We had G2 for a while, and it's hard, man. It's tough.
So, to be fair, we predicted every single game.
We did.
And there's still a way of coming back.
Oh, we will.
You just have to win every game for the rest of the day.
I can't believe they made you a greater traitor than Judas and Sasuke.
Or J.R. Smith. That was my highlighted list. We're going to go through this game from the EU perspective as well for the Fnatic highlights. Like,
so, this is lag, I think. This is EU not being used to. I think you guys play on like 60 ping. It's like crazy over here.
I've just been informed it's not from the EU perspective, it's from the loser's perspective. However, I do think for the most part this was a good dive by Fnatic. They tried to bring this back. This is another play where they're actually being a little bit proactive. But what always happened to Fnatic in this game is they would push a little bit too hard and just give kills up on the back end. Like every beginning of a play was pretty good, right? They'd start with the kill, but then they just continue to chase. This play is another one that I believe actually worked out pretty well.
Yes. And this is Fnatic giving the European fans hope, and you're looking pretty positive based on a lot of these plays, like they're being proactive. I do feel like their composition was a little bit more on the scaling end, and Broxah, he struggled to have a bigger impact than he would have liked because his early game wasn't quite as successful as perhaps his counterpart Xmithie was. But like as the game progressed, I think you hit the nail on the head. When you have things like a Kassadin, a Vladimir who need like that 2-3 items, when you're trying to force that many plays in the early game, you're going to be falling into a further and further deficit. And what was worse was Doublelift was the person picking up all those kills. And, you know, to be fair, he wasn't playing an AD carry, was he, Jack?
It's AP carry.
It wasn't AD
carry. That's why Reckless couldn't possibly pull that out. But like all magic damage from Fnatic, I think TL actually smartly itemized the magic resist. It was good to see from an NA perspective, I guess.
Great.
First blood on day 2 goes to NA, and I'm apparently disappointed. We'll see if EU can retaliate in our next match of the day. I said they will. G2 takes on Echo Fox after the break. Go G2.
Go G2!
That's a nice root. Big damage there. Ignite is on. The trade's going to come in. That's going to be Caps going down, but there is the trade.
I think so. Is it? Yeah. Yes. Is it?
Here comes Nocturne around the backside. Broxah's days are numbered. First blood at 2 minutes and 10. And look at Bwipo now. He's so low on health. Olleh, the flashball, Doublelift. 2 for 0 in as many minutes. Goes over the wall early. Doublelift and flashback over. And Bwipo can outplay this one. Oh!
I'm dead. I'm looking at Alistar.
There's a flash.
I'm gonna go this guy. Yeah, I'm looking Taliyah. I'm looking Taliyah flash. Cast 1 HP. Come. I'm 1 HP, I'm 1 HP, I'm 1 HP.
He just can't make it happen. Doublelift shuts them all down. 2 for 0 impact, running for dear life, and he's gonna stay alive. Bwipo falls well, a double kill for the Lift himself. Liquid get the first edge in the group stage for North America. 3-2 the current standings.